It used to be about the game, buckets, rivalries, dynasties, but now it's about feuds, insults, call-outs, and hot takes. The NBA media has transformed into something that feels more like reality TV than sports journalism. It's become louder, nastier, more personal, and the question is, how did we get here? Why is the coverage around basketball no longer centered on greatness, but on who can stir the most drama? This is the story of how NBA media became so toxic. From courtside commentary to crossfire chaos, once upon a time, NBA coverage was about basketball. Reporters wanted to elevate the game. They traveled with teams, interviewed players in hotel lobbies, and sometimes even stayed in touch with athletes' families. There was a sense of mutual respect. Beat writers like Jack McCallum built long-term relationships with players like Michael Jordan, not just to get exclusive access, but to help tell stories that made the NBA grow. Criticism existed, sure, but it was measured, respectful, and rooted in love for the game. But over the years, that respect quietly disappeared. As the league exploded in popularity during the late 90s and early 2000s, so did the business of basketball content. Enter inside the NBA on TNT. Funny, smart, and packed with charisma. Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith didn't just break down plays, they made it entertaining, and they had credibility. They played. When Chuck criticized a player, it stung, but it came from a place of knowledge and experience. But everything changed with the rise of debate shows. In 2007, ESPN's First Take introduced a new kind of sports content. Skip Bayless didn't care about relationships. He didn't care if players liked it. What he cared about was views, reactions, and shock value. He realized something dangerous. Negativity sells. The more outrageous the take, the more people tuned in. It didn't matter if it was fair. It didn't matter if it was true. It just had to spark debate, and it worked. When Skip called Chris Bosh Spice, he crossed a line. Bosh confronted him, told him the name insulted his family, but Skip didn't back down because Skip wasn't paid to be respectful. He was paid to stir the pot. His takes on LeBron became infamous. No matter how great LeBron played, Skip always found a reason to tear him down, and fans ate it up. The hate became a brand. Then Stephen A. Smith took it to the next level. Louder, sharper, faster. His debates with Skip turned First Take into the most watched sports talk show in the country. They weren't just covering basketball, they were shaping the entire conversation around it. Athletes couldn't ignore them anymore because their words affected public perception, even legacies. One comment on national TV could turn a star into a meme or a hero into a villain overnight. This was the moment NBA media changed. It wasn't about informing the audience anymore, it was about entertaining them. Criticism turned into mockery. Insight gave way to insults. And soon, it wasn't just analysts doing it. Former players joined the circus too. Kendrick Perkins, for example, a solid role player during his time, but now a heavyweight in sports commentary. He understood that, foreman, be loud, be bold, and don't be afraid to go after anyone. Whether it was calling Kevin Durant's move to the Warriors the weakest ever, or claiming James Harden was washed, Perk made sure every take was unforgettable, even if it came at the cost of relationships. Shaquille O'Neal did it too. One of the greatest centers ever, now reduced to roasting current players on TV. Dwight Howard, Rudy Gobert, JaVale McGee. No one was safe. Shaq didn't just critique, he clowned. He made fun of appearances, play style, even mental toughness. And with every joke, the crowd laughed louder. But behind the laughs was a pattern. Former legends, discrediting today's stars to make themselves look better. It's not just disrespectful, it's destructive. This growing hostility created a media culture where tearing players down became the norm. Tyrese Halliburton got called a wannabe all-star by Wally Szczerbiak unprovoked. J.J. Redick, who was supposed to be the voice of reason in the media, clapped back hard at Charles Barkley for dismissing the Lakers and calling the NBA soft. Even Magic Johnson, usually a beacon of positivity, took shots at Anthony Edwards, questioning his ambition and passion. And yet, it never stops, because now it's everywhere. Podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, everyone has a voice. And instead of basketball analysis, most of the content is just responses to drama. Clips from Undisputed, reactions to tweets, podcast beefs. The NBA media has turned into a non-stop loop of back and forth pettiness, where substance is buried under sarcasm and stats are replaced with shouting. And here's the biggest problem. Players are finally fighting back, but it's only making things worse. Stars like Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, and even LeBron have their own platforms now. They tweet, they podcast, they respond instantly to any slight. What used to be a media versus athlete has become a full-blown war. Draymond calls out Perkins. Ja Morant claps back at Barkley. KD lives in the mentions. Instead of stopping the toxicity, new media just added more fuel to the fire. And the fans, they're stuck in the middle. They want basketball. They want highlights, stories, rivalries, greatness. But what they get is daily gossip. Who said what? Who's beefing with who? Who's getting exposed? The game is at its most skilled, most competitive, and most global. Yet the coverage makes it feel petty, shallow, and fake. This isn't journalism anymore. It's content. And that's how the NBA media became so toxic.